My name is Sarah Kimberlin, and I'm a student for the Graphic Design program here at Brookdale. The internship was called the Student Ambassadorship of the design program. I would basically be a middle ground between the professor and the learning assistant between the students. I was told that I had to come in for the Type 1 and Type 2 classes, so those are intermediate level classes, and I had taken them previously in the past. So I have all the knowledge, all the experience of being there. So I would go in and sit during those classes, and the professor would start out usually with a lecture that had to do with what he wanted to discuss. And every once in a while he would take a pause and he would ask me or the learning assistant if we had any thoughts or ideas that the students could benefit from. And I would try and help them as much as I could. Maybe there was a topic that they brought up that they had never heard of before. Maybe I could expand on something that the professor didn't exactly touch on, but back when I had done it, he had mentioned it, so I can explain better to them so they can get new ideas running through their head. After the lecture, we would end up doing a critique. So critiques are huge in design and a lot of other art classes. We would show the students' work. We have these huge TVs that are in the room on each side, and the student would present whatever they're working on, and we would give them our thoughts on how to make their project even better than what it was by using our skill set and knowledge. And a lot of the time, even after the class is over, I would get emails constantly from the students, and I loved it because I felt like I was able to personally connect with everybody, and by the end of the semester, I knew everybody's art style, and that was the most awesome part about it because I was able to help them on a more personalized level. It was definitely a struggle at first. I was fortunate enough to have a professor who was the one that was helping me along with the internship that was very understanding. Trent Welcome, if you know him. He was great. He had helped me with if I needed to come in maybe a little bit late because I'm held behind in something else with one of my own classes. That was totally fine with him, but I tried to be there as much as possible. It was just more managing my schedule, making sure that I'm getting my own work done because I like to keep my grades up as long as I can, and yeah, I would just show up to the classes and try and if I would have an email from a student, just get back to them as soon as I could. And they all were super understanding too, because we're all in the same boat. They understand if I can't get back to them within the hour, within the day, I will get back to them. The biggest skill that I learned from this experience was the collaboration aspect of it and proper communication. So within a design career path, you need to be able to effectively communicate with others and get your point across. But you also need to do it in a professional yet casual way. So you don't want to come off arrogant, but you also want to sound like you know what you're talking about. And being able to do that within a team is super important because if you look on in the future, you're never going to just be working by yourself. There's always going to be the client. There's going to be other designers that you're working with, marketing department. There's always going to be somebody you're working with. So this internship actually simulated that because I'm now working, or I was last semester during it, I was working with the professor, the learning assistant, and the students. So it was all one big group of people that are all trying to effectively communicate and collaborate with each other. So in a design setting, rather than the resume, the most effective thing that will help me with my readiness would be my portfolio. I'm actually taking the portfolio class right now myself as a student, and I'm learning so much about how to make your work shine for those who are going to be looking at it, whether it's going to be another college because I'm going to move on to a four-year institution afterwards, or if it's a job that I'm looking for or another internship. Knowing exactly what to put in the portfolio is super important because it's going to be customized. You're always going to be removing pieces of the portfolio or you're going to be putting more things in depending on what you're really going for. I was always a very outgoing student. Even in my personal life, I'm actually pretty quiet, but for some reason when I'm in a design setting, I'm very outgoing. So the way I found out about this internship was Trent Welcome himself had reached out to me and said, hey, there's a position here that's called the Student Ambassadorship, and you would basically come to the classes you've already done in the past and help out, give some information to the students that you have, and then you can either get credit, you can get paid, or you can do the non-credit. So I said, are you sure I'm able to do that? Like, because it's kind of, it's a confidence thing. You feel like you want me to be doing that. And he said, yeah, of course, because you're always talking anyway in class. So this gave me a reason for why I would be. Yeah, so when he was talking to me, it was mostly throughout the summer after the last spring semester. He was talking to me and saying, like, no, definitely get involved in this. It'll be a great opportunity for you and you'll be able to participate in the classes. Now I'm even going to classes that I don't have to. I actually went to a collage class not too long ago that I'm not a part of, but it was definitely cool to see everybody. So now it's instilled in me to just constantly hang around the design room. In the design program itself, everybody knows each other, they know their work, they constantly will be meeting up with each other. So yeah, my favorite thing about Brookdale is definitely the community. I've had great professors and I've had the pleasure of repeating professors also multiple times, which is great because then they know my work and I know how they teach. So it's basically a back and forth. So we're all just one big community and I love that. For any student who's looking to do an internship at Brookdale, I would definitely tell them, don't be afraid that you're not going to be able to do it. It definitely can seem scary. You can get this idea of imposter syndrome where you feel like you're not qualified to be giving the advice that you'd be giving in that internship or the work that you're putting into it. But everybody here has been prepared by the same professors that I have been. So the way I see it is anybody who does the internship is just as capable as a person who hasn't done it yet. And the key word there is yet, because everybody should be able to participate in one. We've all been prepared adequately, and they should be confident in their ability to do so. Plus, they will love it because they'll never realize how involved they can be at Brookdale. Everyone in the career leadership and transfer pathways has been extremely helpful. Bill had actually helped me with learning how to sign up for a LinkedIn account and a Handshake account. I hadn't used those before because I had used Indeed in the past to get jobs or maybe other websites to try and find things. But in regards to making a professional profile, making the LinkedIn and Handshake has been the most useful because I can make the most amount of connections. I never knew that those programs existed before, so it was definitely eye-opening, and everyone here was super helpful in aiding me in making my profiles and learning how to connect with people. I definitely believe that because of this internship, I've developed so many skills to prepare me for what's next. I want to go on to a 4-year school, but then I also want to be able to get a job afterwards. And no matter how far in the future or how soon, what I learned during this internship is going to help me so much with doing so. Being able to work together with other people, most important part. Being able to be a leader in certain situations and give my advice on things and feel confident in doing so is super, super important in the field that I'm going in. And not to mention even just learning the software. You don't realize that when you go to a class that you've already been to, you pick up little things that you may have missed the first time around. So it's not that you go to this class and you know everything, it's that you go to this class and now you're picking up on things you hadn't before. So it's kind of like perfecting your skills in a way. And now I'm with the software, with people, with my teamwork, leadership skills, I'm able to be more prepared for what's going to come next for me. The achievement that I have gained from this was feeling like every step that I take forward is more and more possible. As I continue to do things, I realize that past me may have thought I couldn't do it. But now I keep achieving things here at Brookdale, and everything seems so much more possible than it was in my head before. It's bittersweet to be leaving Brookdale because I will be graduating this coming semester. But like I've told my professors, I will be coming back. I'm going to be a floater around Brookdale forever. I can already tell because I love it here so much. I spend so much time in the design room or even walking around the campus with people that I've met along the way. So my time here will not end as a person, but as a student, it's coming to a close very soon.